Hi, Mark. How are you in Provo?
G'day, Graham. Really good, thanks. It's snowing and freezing here right now, so I wish I was with you in sunny Queensland.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer here this weekend. We got about 250 people in the room, so everyone say hi to Mark.
Hello, everyone.
Mark, we got you on especially because we want to talk about the scanner. We have a lot of people joining the business and they don't really understand how critical the scanner's been to the growth of new skin in general, but also especially to the growth of products like LifePak, Y-Span, iFormula, and some others. And I just wondered if you might, as you've been integral in its development and its rollout over the last few years around the world, I see one sitting on your desk behind you, that
Yes.
can you just say that why did Pharmanex or Nu Skin, why did they take such an interest and grab hold of the scanner, and then what did it do that was so important that no one else has been able to do, and why was it important to the business of our business?
Yeah, I'd love to. This is like one of my favorite topics, so I'm glad you asked the question. So I joined Pharmanex, Nu Skin, in 1996, right? And it was before we had the Bio Photonic Scanner. And I'd come from doing medical research, and I had a really good insight into how powerful plant bioactives are, how powerful nutritional elements are. I was growing cancer cells in petri dishes, and even at that level realized the importance of nutrition and nutrients to keep cells healthy and happy. And it was really interesting to me that at the time it wasn't easy for a Nu Skin distributor to sell supplements, because it was on this very strong backdrop of media slant that was sort of saying, supplements, they're not absorbed, they're just creating expensive urine. Did you ever hear that? They're just torpedoes. They don't do anything. Even if nutrients do, you have to get it from your food. The supplements don't do anything. And you're just creating expensive urine. And, we are a very science-based company. At the time, we only had 3 PH.Ds, but we had a good support staff. We had, a strong sort of science bent. So we tried to train the distributors, but that was the headwind that we lived under. And it was, when was it? Around 99. Yep. So, we're talking 3 years later after joining the company that we came across this research that was being done at the University of Utah. They had this scanner, this massive instrument with a 4-foot long argon laser. And in order for it to function, you had to pour liquid nitrogen onto it to cool it so it would be accurate. And I remember hearing about this technology and learning about it and visiting it and going, wow, this is interesting. But it's measuring carotenoids. Okay, so here's some background again. This is one of the reasons, again, that attracted me to this company, Nu Skin, because even though there's such a thing as vitamins and minerals, and most supplements had vitamins and minerals in them, there was always this concept of antioxidants, which we've all heard of now, but it was quite new back then, right? And you had people like Lester Packer who were pioneering the benefits of antioxidants to basically preserving our health and the aging process, right? And we knew that free radicals were an important part of biology, and that most age-related sort of conditions had a free radical component, and that antioxidants fight free radicals and so are good for your body. Nu Skin was also interested in this concept of phytochemicals, right? Plants that come from nature, carotenoids, flavonoids, sulforaphane, all of these chemicals that are found in nature that have some kind of a bioactive protective effect in the body for either as antioxidants or detoxification. So Nu Skin was into these 4 different components of nutrition even back then. So when this concept came up of the biophotonic scanner, this scanner that they had in this basement of the Department of Biooptics at the University of Utah, and it was the physics department that was tinkering with this thing and found that they could use light to measure carotenoids in the skin. And most people at that time would have said, so what? So carotenoids are just one antioxidant amongst many that we know of. You can measure it in skin, so what? I mean, what difference does that make? But we started to investigate it, and we found something very interesting. Carotenoids are part of a family of antioxidants. And you have, everyone's heard of vitamin E, right? Vitamin C, you've all heard of those. They're antioxidants, they're nutrients as well. And so, maybe we thought drinking orange juice is good because it's full of antioxidants. But what are carotenoids? Well, carotenoids are the kind of a pigment that you find in fruits and vegetables, right? So orange, red, yellow. They have names. If you eat watermelon, it's red. So there's a carotenoid in there called lycopene. And, if you see a carrot, it's orange. It's because of beta-carotene and some of the other carotenoids. If you see an egg yolk, it's got, yellow carotenoids in it, right? Zeaxanthin, and corn has yellow. So these carotenoids, what benefit are they to human health? And, well, we know they're antioxidants, but it's interesting that they have this structure. It's a carbon backbone repeated many times with alternating single and double bonds. That might mean something to the chemist. To me, it means something very exciting. It means that this chemical structure, with all of these conjugated double bonds, is actually able to absorb the hits of free radicals several times, about 20 times, before the molecule is destroyed. Meaning it's a very good antioxidant, and it's a first line of defense antioxidant. And so to be able to detect those carotenoids in the skin for the first time was pretty exciting, because before that, the only way you could measure carotenoids was to take a blood sample. And it had to be a fasting blood sample, and it would cost hundreds of dollars. It wasn't a standard test that was done, except sort of in a research lab. So what's cool about that? Well, research, the question that we all asked was, if you're going to measure any person's antioxidant health, the ability of your body to sort of withstand the impact of free radicals, what would be a good biomarker, right? So, for example, if you want to look at cardiovascular health, it's arguable, but they look at cholesterol, right? Cholesterol says, okay, you've got an issue or not. So what's the biomarker for antioxidant health in any individual? And it turns out, papers just started to be published. There was one in 1994. So just before this was done, showing that, if you were going to measure an antioxidant in the blood or in the body, that the best biomarker of overall antioxidant health is the carotenoid. Meaning, if your carotenoid levels are high, then there's a very good chance, very high probability that your vitamin C levels are good, that your vitamin E levels are good, that, many of the other antioxidants, the flavonoids and all these other things are in good condition. So the carotenoids turned out to be, this is a good discovery then. Because not only do we not have to take blood, but it's just light, and you're measuring an antioxidant, carotenoids, that indicate the health of the whole antioxidant network in your body. So we started to get really excited about this. So the next problem was, we're talking about this greenhouse technology. Basically, it's this huge laser. How can it, are we going to invite all of our distributors to go down to the University of Utah and get scanned while they're there? wait for the technician to pour the bucket of liquid nitrogen into the laser and all of that. So our task then was, okay, we need to shrink that technology down. We need to do something with this, right? So that's the next part of the history, where we actually had some guys working for us that are real nerds. I mean, just total geeks. They had built spectrophotometers. They knew what all the equations meant. They knew how to build these things. So us working with the physicists at the University of Utah, Werner Gellerman and his co-workers, Bernstein, started to work on shrinking the technology. And we got it down to about the size of a small picnic table. And then we had to go to the next level. It cost about $70 million and several years of work to do this. But by 2003, we had the first version of the scanner. Do you want to see it? I think I've got one here. Hold on.
He's tracking it down for us.
So this is it here. This is the S1 scanner, our first version. So you put your hand in front of the probe right here, and it took a minute and a half. But this particular device had to have a laptop with it. It took about 45 minutes to warm this thing up. And then you had to calibrate it. We had discovered a way to put carotenoids into silly putty, and so you'd have to do different calibrations. And then finally, after about an hour, you were ready to scan.
Plasticine for the Pacific region.
Yes, plasticine, kind of like that. So this was, but you know, this was groundbreaking technology.
To set up. I hated those things, but they made us a lot of money, but I hated them.
Yeah, but it changed the world.
Yeah.
Because do you remember I said that people were just saying, oh, expensive urine, expensive urine. Now we could put this device in front of someone and scan them. And that was amazing because we were able to tell them, well, your carotenoid levels are low or medium or high, right? Most people's are low because, you know, it correlates with our diet, right? Our health. So, you know, what does the average person eat in terms of fruits and vegetables a day? The average American, I don't know how it is in Australia, eats maybe 3 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And that would be if you include bananas and tomato sauce and French fries, right? Potato chips. So like, yeah, there are my 3 servings of vegetables. Well, actually the tomato sauce has got lycopene in it. So, okay, that's one good thing. But on average, people scored low. And, but take one of our products or change your diet, right? First of all, change your diet. Start thinking about fruits and vegetables. Start eating more of those every day to the recommended levels. And, you know, supplement your diet with Life Pack, whatever the form is, whatever country you're in. Maybe with, well, we didn't have Y-Span back then, but, you know, we developed G3. You have that in Australia, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we started to develop products. We'd already had our Life Pack, but we said, well, it's full of carotenoids. Take this product. And then after a month, scan again. Can you see a difference? And people would see a difference. And so this kind of blew that old theory out of the water about how they weren't bioavailable, because we had been focusing in Pharmanex on bioavailability of our minerals, our vitamins, and our antioxidants, right? So we already knew about lycopene, lutein, zeaxanthin, beta-carotene, you know, alpha-carotene. So this is something that we were already doing because we knew the science, but now we could prove it, and it was non-invasive. And this absolutely changed the conversation. And, you know, you asked the question, well, how did it change things? Here's another thing that I remember. You know, I always admire you guys, Graham, your whole team, all these people, you guys that are sort of on the front line with the consumer. And so I imagine 2 scenarios. One, Graham, you're a new Pharmanex distributor. I need you to go down to the mall, just camp out in front of Woolworths there. We got a little license for a booth there. And you're going to sit there, and as people walk past, you're going to try to sell them your vitamins, right? Tell them how good your supplements are. And you're going to call people over, right? How's the conversation going to go? Well, if you're a good salesman, you can probably do it, right? Snappy suit, well-oiled hair, you know, and just tell them how wonderful these supplements are. Look how healthy I am. I'm 95. I don't look a day over 45, you know, whatever your pitch is, right? I think that's just a hard scenario. Or let's say you're at home. Okay, this is a home-to-home business. You're at home, you got the telephone, you got a list of your friends. You're going to call them up. Hey, Joe. Yeah, g'day, mate. I just joined this company and I'm selling vitamins. You want to come over and check them out? You know, he's like, whoa, you know, I think I'm washing my hair that night. Sorry, right? I don't know. That's got to be a hard sell. So now let's reimagine this whole scenario. Graham, I'm going to send you down to Woolworths. The booth is there. But I'm going to give you this guy here, the latest Bio Photonic Scanner. And you're going to put that on the table, and maybe you'll have a little, and you'll invite people over. What are you going to say? Hey, come over here, get scanned, right? This 30-second scan, it's not going to hurt you, and we're going to measure your antioxidant levels in your body. I mean, people will probably come over to the desk anyway and say, what the devil is this? What does it do?
They do.
And you say, well, it measures antioxidants. They go, well, I've heard of antioxidants, but what? You're kidding me. It really measures antioxidant? Let's have a try. Oh, and then while, you know, so this is the point. Every time someone gets scanned, there's a conversation about nutrition, about diet, about health, and about how you might change the curve. And every time you scan someone, there's usually an emotional response, right? Like, holy crap, I'm in the red zone? What does that mean? Am I going to die? You say, well, no, you're fine. It just means that you're like the average person. You're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, and you're probably not getting enough nutrition. Here are some things that can change it, right? Sign up for this, take this product, come back in a month. If it doesn't work, you can have your money back, but you will see that number change. Totally different scenario, isn't it?
Extremely different. it changed the game.
Yeah, it did.
With that, Mark, with that, talking about it changing it, because I saw it on my side, but from your side, where you see all the things around the world, literally, as the scanner came on board, and people started doing lots of scans, did you see a correlation in increases in sales of nutritional products, and especially of auto delivery orders of nutritional products like LifePak and later on Y-Span and others?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm not a salesperson. I'm just kind of the techno geek in the background that's developing products, right?
Yeah.
So it's, but I'm still really interested in sort of the data and how this drove sales. So, you know, I saw when I joined this company, the annual revenue was about 400 million. So we were doing personal care products. We were doing nutrition products. Nutrition and personal care were about 50-50. We're about selling about the same, right? And I didn't know it because we weren't a public company at the time. And I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but actually, after I joined the company, it wasn't my fault. There was actually, you know, because of the headwinds that we faced in terms of regulations and this concept that, you know, products are they're just making expensive urine, our sales weren't doing great. They were kind of creeping down. And, you know, we felt like, okay, what do we need? We are science-based, but we need to really have a much bigger injection of science into the company. So that's when we merged in 1998 with Pharmanex, right? And we brought along some brilliant products like Colestin and T-Green and Cordyceps and Reishi. And those are still wonderful sellers, right? Great products. And that started to turn things around. But what I witnessed was when we introduced the scanner in 2003, that's when we saw a massive increase in sales, a massive increase in auto delivery of products like LifePak and things like that that were scanner active. And to this day, you can track very strongly the sale of these products, LifePak and others, to the scan, because it just keeps it alive. It just makes the product more sticky, right? It just seems quite logical.
Exactly. We find it one, it helps with the initial sale, but it really helps with the retention, with keeping people on it.
Right. Yeah.
And we find, and tell me if your things back this up, we've only got about 2 minutes, but we find if once people are on an auto delivery of a Pharmanex product or products for more than 9 or 10 months, they tend to stay on them for years.
Yes, it's true. And, you know, it's not just our own experience, but sort of more global data that back that up. When people have nutritional products, they become very loyal to them. And we are enhancing that loyalty by being able to prove to them that they're still working. They don't want their scanner score to go down. They keep taking the products. And they feel the health benefits as well, which is actually quite a different scenario to personal care products, which are, it's harder to keep people on those. They tend to sort of want to change, shake things up a little bit. But yes, there's a tremendous loyalty that you can build with nutritional products. And as you said, the scanner just only enhances and strengthens that loyalty.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mark. And I really want to thank you on behalf of all the distributors for the work you've put in getting the scanner advanced through the years to this new model, which came out 3 or 4 years ago, that the S3, that is so simple to use. I mean,
right.
It's hand luggage on a plane. It runs off your iPad. And it's such a breeze to use. It's non-threatening. And you, like you say, if you set it up in a coffee shop or something, you literally have people coming over wanting to try it. I mean, it's door openers. I see it and the Galvanic Spa and the Lumi as incredible door openers of curiosity.
Absolutely. And stay tuned. You know, you may not realize it, but we write the app and the user interface ourselves. I've got a small team. We do it ourselves. We don't even outsource it. If you've ever used the scanner app, you'll know that the user interface is just beautiful. Yes. Very new skin. It's just something to be proud of. Yep. And stay tuned because we're actually updating that. There'll be a new version of this soon that is even more user-friendly, that just gives, you know, we're always asking you guys, what do you want? What are some of the enhancements that you need to improve your experience? So that's coming soon as well.
Thank you so much for your time today, Mark. Enjoy the snow. I see behind you, you've got a little pencil holder that looks like a kangaroo.
Yes, that's my pencil holder. A little bit of home.
For those of you that haven't guessed by Mark's accent, he did start out life in Australia before he went off to Utah. So thanks once again, Mark. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
all the work you and the Pharmanex team do, and keep up the good work. Talk to you later. I
Will
think
do. Thanks, Graham. Bye, everyone.
you're coming out in March, correct?
Yes, to Sydney, Auckland, and Melbourne.
That's right. So people will be able to see you live there. Have a great
Yes,
day.
will do. Thanks.
Bye.